driving around hotel, yeah?
Yep.
Right.
London by Sunrise. That will be the name of this Passport Junkie segment. It actually is pretty cool.
Really pretty.
Insert card in pin pad. You ain't got it over there.
Is there a chip in it? So what's the 3 months?
Hi everyone, this is Carrie, Passport Junkie. Wanted to share with you my experience in London and give you my review. I really enjoyed London. Definitely think it's worth, um, taking the trip. You can't like say you've done Europe and not do London. So definitely get there if you have the opportunity to go. So my overall rating for London was a 3.5. 3.5 is right along. It's right in the middle. My ratings are out of 5, and so when I went through all of the pillars I look at, which are culture, food, activities, and nightlife, I came up with a 3.5. So the very first one, the first one is around culture. When I come up with my culture rating, what I always ask myself is like, do I feel like I left the US? And typically, language is a factor in that, and just being able to navigate and the sights and the sounds and, the people and what everyday life looks like. How different is that from the US? And so while London, they speak English, what I will say is that there's a different pulse and a different point of view on things, on life, that as you talk to people, you'll see that the point of view is different and the issues in the country are different. And, the same sort of ideas around like historical racism and some of the baggage that America has, Europe doesn't have. And so for that reason, I still think that there is a very distinct culture despite the same language per se. And so I gave London a 4 in culture. The next one is for activities. I gave activities a 4. It's mostly history based, right? So Europe is the old world, involvement in the world wars and everything like that makes it, a city where you really want to like dig into the history, visit all the different sites like Buckingham Palace is a must. Big Ben, London Bridge, all those kind of things. You definitely want to do those. Take pictures in front of those. Find one of the red photo booths. Definitely do that. If you're not that into history, if like history alone wouldn't make you want to go, my suggestion is actually to do something like an event that you know that you'll enjoy that has hit the European leg of the tour. So like I would say like try to catch like Kevin Hart's show in London, or try to catch like Beyonce in London, and that can be your activity, like reason for going. I guess that makes it like cool. Think about maybe some other reason to be there, and then also check out the history while you're there. So the next rating is on food. Okay, so food got a 2. I think people know that the food is not anything to be like dying for in terms of like English food. My recommendation is to find something ethnic. There's a very significant Indian population and influence in the culture. So my suggestion would be seeking out some ethnic food or Indian food. And then the last one is nightlife. There is a lot of nightlife. It's a very much like a scene kind of city where you want to see and be seen, that kind of thing. I gave nightlife a 3. There is great nightlife in London. A few caveats though. The clubs close early there, early, so like 1 or 2. It's a very sceney kind of place. I almost think of it like LA, where you kind of have to know people or be in the know about where to go on what night. So unless you have like a local friend who could tell you, who's kind of like into that kind of thing, it may be harder to find your way. My suggestion is to go to sort of a swanky or lifestyle type hotel. Start at the bar and ask the bartenders or the people there who look like they know where they're going, and you can find out that way. And so overall, I gave London a 3.5. Definitely think it's worth visiting. You can't say you've done Europe without going to London.